me today here on the Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel is JR Kratos. JR, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's up, baby? What's going on, man? Thanks for having me, brother. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time to jump on, man. Like, just like kind of how I mentioned, like, to start off, like you've been featured in quite a bit of promotions just over that stretch I mentioned, like from 2019 through present day. Like it seems like, you've been featured in, on a very prominent role and throughout a variety of different promotions. Have you had the opportunity to like really reflect on like what you've done over the recent years, or like have things just been like kind of on like go mode that you really haven't had the opportunity to really sit back and sort of take it all in and reflect?
Uh, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's kind of on go mode, but there's a lot of downtime in between. So it's like to be able to reflect and take it all in is it's cool, man. I've been on some of the top promotions, in the world, and it's been a hell of a ride, bro. It's been fun. I've been in the ring with some of their greatest talent, so it was a lot of learning experiences for me, and overall just great experiences, man, in front of great crowds. Traveling in different states, and it's been cool, man. So yeah, I've been able to take it in at times, but it's a lot of go mode. So
Yeah, so like you're getting around to like the sort of the early portion of your career. Like I know you're a California native. I know like early on in your career, and even up until I was saying like around 2022, I know you were frequent for the All Pro Wrestling promotion, and it seemed like it was your home for quite a little bit as far as the independent goes. So talk to me about what All Pro Wrestling has meant to your career.
I think what all pro wrestling is meant is just it's a great place, man. Even the promoter Marcus Mack believed in me a lot, so he was able to put me in big matches with names that he would bring into the show, and it's just a kind of a full circle kind of thing. It's like my first name that I've ever wrestled was Tyrus,
Mhm.
and then now he's want to become one of my personal friends, and it's just a trip how life works out, man. But all pro wrestling for me, it was great because I learned a lot. It was, if not one of the biggest promotions out there. So they had, the greatest vets in the locker room. They were bringing in names, like I said, and, Marcus would give me opportunity to wrestle them. And it was just good promotion for me, and then good learning experience as well. Cause like I said, I was in the ring with guys that did this shit for a living. So it was cool, man.
And like sort of piggybacking off of that, like I know you made your way around the California independence, and I know you've seen like a great deal over the past decade or so that you've been in the wrestling business. Like, sort of talk to me about how you've seen the scene change just over that period of time, like to the highs, the lows, the boom periods that came along, and sort of what do you think of overall about the California independent scene as it stands present day from which you've been able to see?
Um, as it stands right now, it's NorCal was looked at like a kind of like a black hole. You know what I mean? It wasn't really getting looked at as far as talent, and
Mhm.
I think now, with the promotions, APW, you got a Pro Wrestling Revolution out here, which is for the lucha companies, and then you got, West Coast Pro, which is making a
Yeah.
lot of noise, man. Scott out there is, the promoter. He's the man out there, and he's created a great platform for NorCal. He brings in top talent, man. It's kind of like the pro wrestling gorilla for California. You know what I mean? That platform that Scott has made for Cali is it's great, man. It's talked about all over the world. Everywhere I go, it's like, West Coast is cool, man. Who do I talk to? All these guys, if they ever did an indie, they would love to come to West Coast. So I think overall, from the growth of when I started to now, NorCal is a great place to be, man. You got up and comers coming along, making a lot of noise and getting opportunities in different states and being able to travel, on the independence. That's always really cool. It's a great experience for talent. And like I said, wrestling's hot right now, man. So promoters are able to bring in names for guys to work and get a lot of experience and hopefully network and make some connections to get to you know,
Mm.
to bigger promotions and different stuff like that. So it's cool, man. NorCal and Cali's where it's at right now.
That's good to hear, man. I'm glad to hear the scene booming out. They definitely know about West Coast Pro. I seen a couple of their shows on IWTV, and I know Chris Hero is like the booker slash matchmaker. Going on that. I think the most recent show I caught, I want to say it was in April. I know they had headlined. I can't remember who was the headliner, but I know Oku was on that. Michael Oku was on that show. Speedball, Mike Bailey, Brian Keith, couple of other people. Man, they lot of great talents that come through West Coast Pro. And they got I think they got Kenta Kobashi coming coming later this year. They got Kenta
Man,
Kobashi
Scott
coming in.
is Scott knows what he's doing, man. You know, he's a good businessman, and he's just one kick-ass dude, bro. So it's good to see their success and everyone that he's got under his umbrella, man. They're doing big things out there. So big props to them.
For sure. And so to move in the convo, away from California across the country, like so what we just talked about before we started recording, you were a part of you were in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina for NWA Crockett Cup weekend. Yourself and Addison, you guys made it to the quarterfinals of the 2023 Crockett Cup tournament. Like just reflecting on that, I know that you as a wrestler, just like with any field, don't even got to be specifically professional wrestling, like you what I do interviewing and stuff like that. I don't think there is anyone that could be more critical of our own work than ourselves. Like, and I'm just curious, like how you felt about your overall performance throughout the weekend, and just talk to me about like the overall vibes throughout the, those on the NWA roster and those affiliated with the NWA roster. What was the overall vibes like throughout Crockett Cup weekend, and of course, how would you evaluate your performance that weekend?
Oh, I did great, man.
Yeah.
Just their overall vibes, bro. Their NWA is it's a great place, bro. You know what I mean? Billy has a vision that is just in a nutshell, to just sum it all down. It's a good place to be and have him in the driver's seat. You know what I'm saying? Like his vision, his drive to get to bigger and bigger places, it's showing, man. If you stay relevant and you stay watching the product, you could see it just continuously growing, from the crowd, not only that, but from the arenas that we're in, and the places that we're traveling. It's just new, and the plans that he has for NWA, and just the people, the vets that he has in the locker room. You know what I mean? Those guys are, he's got WWE Hall of Famers back there. He's got guys that have done this for a living and continue to do it for a living, and just the vibes of the Crockett Cup. That's a big deal, man. It's unfortunate Odison and I came up short, but, I think we made a good prominent force of, out there. And I think good things are going to come for us, if not as a tag individually, for sure. He's a beast, bro. He's works hard, looks like $1 million, great talent. He's professional. So, but the overall vibe in North Carolina is great, man. The fans out there are old school, so they're energetic, they like to interact. So the vibe out there was good. I mean, it was a little warm, humidity kind of, damn. But other than that, man, it's good times. NWA is cool, man. It's a product that I am just very fortunate and happy to be a part of. So it was a good overall vibe. It always is. So it's cool.
It's cool. It's cool to hear. Like I know you've actually had like a couple. I think like 1 or 2 title matches this year under the NBA banner. I know like one of those had came when they did the what was the joint show with AAA out in Mexico. I think that was like a music festival type deal. So to talk to me about your experience being there,
That's
man.
cool too, man. Because going back to just to Billy and his vision and who he is, it was cool to see him in his element, and perform as, for the Smashing Pumpkins in front of thousands of people, bro. That was wild to see. And then just to be under the AAA banner too, and work for those guys, and be in Mexico in that crowd. And like that crowd was huge. It was a lot of fun, man. And just like I said, just to be there and experience that, and again see where NWA is going, and I've been a part of the growth so far. It's really, really cool to see, man. So yeah, Mexico was dope, man. The crowd out there is wild.
Did you get the opportunity to like, get some sightseeing in and all that good stuff while you weren't wrestling?
Nah, unfortunately not. I kind of flew in and flew out, but some of the guys did. And yeah, Mexico's if you get a chance, bro, it's dope. But no, unfortunately, I didn't.
Okay. Like I know you and yourself and Aaron Stevens, you guys had like a lengthy NWA World Tag Title run. I know you guys won the belts at what was that when they were doing United Wrestling Network primetime live shows when that was going on. I think y'all held the titles until like NWA 73. So y'all held them for like that was a lengthy period of time. Like when you look back on that, did you feel like you and both you and Aaron got the opportunity to get the most out of that tag title run?
I feel at the time, yes. I think we did. And then for me personally, just to give, I do it every time I can, man, to give kudos to Aaron, how much that man has literally changed my career, bro. Like the knowledge he has kicked down to me, and being able to have conversations with him, and then the chance I had to actually work with him and to see it happen in the ring and to see it happen with the crowd and to see what he says and actually apply it with him in the ring and watch it work. It's been career changing for me. So as a talent and me, I think I got the most of it. Now I get to hang out with him all the time. So it's like, that's great. But yeah, it was cool, man. It was weird how it happened and it fell on my lap. And then, we just had a great run. We did some cool storylines and stuff like that. But again, like Aaron is he's one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling, man, hands down. So I had the great opportunity to be alongside of him, man. So it was cool.
Like and sort of moving away from that a little bit, I actually want to take it back to WrestleMania weekend this past year. Like I know you had the opportunity to be a part of the multiverse United show that Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling did, but also in that weekend you did Bloodsport with Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. I think that was like your seventh one. I think I actually got the opportunity to see you last year in Dallas when you faced Thatcher. So it was kind of cool, to see to find out that this was like you had done a lot of these. So I kind of wanted to talk to you about your relationship with Josh Barnett, man. Like you are become sort of a staple on these Bloodsport shows. How much do you enjoy, mixing in the pro wrestling with the amateur wrestling and putting in some some MMA esque stuff in there, and again your relationship with Josh Barnett.
I love it, man, because I'm a practitioner 100%. I train all the time, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, all that. I do catch all that stuff. I'm continuously practicing. So to be able to bring that world into professional wrestling and do what Josh's vision is, it's incredible, man. For Josh, man, it was a funny story, man. Actually, myself, Tim Thatcher, and Jeff Cobb were really close, really tight. And Thatcher came to me one day and he was like, "Hey, man," he was like, "You want to go to LA and do a Josh Barnett seminar?" And I was like, "Well, I guess, bro, why not?" You know what I mean? Let's go. And we went and we did the seminar. And after the seminar, you want to meet him and say hello and do all that. As soon as we walked up, man, he was like, "You guys are wrestlers, huh?" And it just kicked off from there, man. Josh has been, again, one of my good friends, all of ours, and it's been a hell of a ride ever since then. We go to LA, stay over there and train with him. We actually had the opportunity to get him ready for a fight and do his training camp with him, which that was cool. And then every chance we get, he's just so cool, man. He's like, come over and train, and we get to train with him and his fighters, and basically get our ass whooped for a couple hours. Josh is really cool. He's another guy, man. That's I remember when he had this vision for Bloodsport and he wanted to do this, and to see where it's growing and where it's at now, and to see guys like the talent that we had on this last roster. I thought it was one of the best. You got guys like Mox, got guys like Chavo. They just want to be a part of it, man, because it's so dope. You know what I mean? It's so different. It's so cool, and to see where it's growing and where it's at, and to be able to have the matches that we've had is just it's cool, man. I love Bloodsport, hands down. That's one of my favorite things to do in professional wrestling. So,
Kratos, have you ever thought about ever venturing into like MMA or anything like that? Have you ever has it ever crossed your mind to do that?
what's funny, man, is you're gonna be the first to hear it on your podcast. I'm in talks right now, maybe to do a bare knuckle fight. So so we'll see. But MMA, I mean, yeah, I've thought about it. I go to all the fights out here when I can. I got a bunch of friends that are, that do it, and I love it, man. But I don't know. It's just something about bare knuckle, man. I
Put
just want to
somebody in
do
the
it.
face.
So I've been talking to the guy that runs
BKFC.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I've been talking to dude. So I don't know, man. We'll see. If the stars align, it's I would love to do it. So I think it's gonna happen in the near future for me. I want to do it, so it's just a matter of time.
Okay, cool. We make sure to keep a lookout for that, man. We might see JR Kratos throwing hands, man. BKFC, you might see it. But JR, one thing that I was really interested to talk to you about, man. I know before you got like involved and you became within the thick of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know you had done a tour with All Japan. This was like, what was that, like 3 weeks before the pandemic started? Like, were there?
We were out there, bro. It was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. That had to that was like, yeah, literally like 2 or 3 weeks before the pandemic started. When you were out there and you had finished up that tour, were there ever any discussions or a possibility of you going back to All Japan pre-pandemic? And like, is it like safe to assume that the pandemic happened and sort of washed that all away and put most of that stuff on the back burner as far as something goes with All Japan in the future?
As far as All Japan in the future, no, there's never been a definite thank you for coming. We'll,
Uh,
have a nice life kind of deal.
right.
But no, man, I had the opportunity because Pro Wrestling Revolution, they brought in Akiyama.
Mm.
And had the opportunity to wrestle in him, and we kind of kicked it off. And Gabe is the guy that runs Pro Wrestling Revolution, and through his connections and networking and stuff like that, I had the opportunity for Akiyama to bring me out for the tour. And that was cool, man. It was my first time out there. I got to debut in Cork and Hall.
Mm.
So that was a really, really big deal for me. Just being a fan and studying all the guys and just the history of Cork and Hall, and being able to wrestle there, not only there but in Japan for for All Japan Pro Wrestling. It was cool. I had a great time there. And I think now, how wrestling is just, everybody's working together, which is a
Yeah.
great scene. To be able to say that I'll probably things are closed, I would absolutely say no. I think great things are going to happen in the near future. You got New Japan; they just did a show with them. They're continuing to do a show with them. Noah's now getting involved, so it's just good for the whole wrestling scene. You got New Japan and AEW. They're doing the Forbidden Door thing. It's just a kick-ass time to be a part of it, man.
For sure.
Impact. When we did the WrestleMania thing, we were able to work with Impact. That was dope too. And I look forward to it, man, because the All Japan, the talent, I still talk to them when we're still, in lingo and stuff. So for me to say I wouldn't go back, or there's not an opportunity, nah, man, I would go back in a heartbeat.
For sure. Just to clarify real quick, when I said like washed away, I mean like definite. I mean like, if there was something like immediate, or within the coming months, that was like sort of there, like not like completely shut down, but like because of the pandemic came, like maybe sort of things got sidetracked a little bit. Just wanted to make sure I clarified
Oh
that.
no, but bro, go back on that, man. And when the pandemic happened, we were out there.
Yeah.
Are we even are we gonna be able to even go home, man? Like it was.
Hey,
You just start seeing, like, because their
hey,
culture out there, man. Japan is amazing, bro.
all
Like,
right.
hands down, one of the best places I've ever been. And their culture is just, it's night and day to ours, bro. It's totally amazing. And then you just get up one day and you start seeing a couple people with masks on. It's all right, cool. It's cool. Like, it's a super clean place.
Mm.
And we're like, oh, okay, that's their culture, whatever. And you wake up the next day and start seeing more masks. You're like, okay, all right. And you wake up the next day and like everybody got masks. You're like, what the hell? And then you
I throw
turn on the
mine
radio,
on
turn
now.
on the news, and
Yeah.
everything's going on. You call back home, touch base, things are happening. You're like, oh shit, man, am I even gonna be able to go home? Like, it
Mm.
was wild, bro. So yeah,
Yep.
it was a trip. It was a trip being out there and just seeing it all from a whole different place. It was like, it was wild.
It's crazy like thinking about like that specific time, like that late February, because you like around that time we started to hear like about this
Yeah,
virus that was going around, but nobody's like I'm saying nobody was well here in the States. Nobody was like
yeah,
really people was just like it's probably just some sickness going around to be over in like a month or whatever, we get over it, blah blah blah. Little
yeah,
did we know, little
yeah.
did we
Right.
know. My
We
goodness,
go
man.
shut shit down, bro.
Right. Everything was shut down immediately, man. But yeah, even with that, man, just like a couple months or some months down the line, the filming of New Japan Strong began, and of course, present day. I think over the last several years, man, you've been a fixture within that New Japan USA product. Like, sort of walk me through those early days of New Japan Strong, man. I know the no fans era wasn't necessarily something that a lot of people enjoyed, but for New Japan Strong, I don't know what it was, man, but I feel like I enjoyed the product. I feel like I liked it, and I think it was mostly because New Japan, their in-ring product, they have sort of conditioned me as a viewer to expect the stories within the ring, and like within traditional American wrestling product, you get the stories in the ring, and you get the stories through the mic time, or you get the stories through
Correct.
backstage segments and stuff like that. But just from watching New Japan, I've been sort of uh I don't want to use the word condition because it make it seem weird, but like I'm gonna just use that word because I can't think of a better one. Like conditioned to expect,
No, yeah, that's cool.
expect most of the stories and expect most of the storytelling to be done in ring. So I was so when I watched New Japan Strong, even with the USA product, when I watched New Japan, even with the USA product, when there was no fans, it was just more so of like, okay, I'm expecting the stories to just be told in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So it was never
Yeah.
any additional expectations as far as like, okay, are they we gonna get backstage segments XYZ, like, so I thought that's why I was able to enjoy it. But like just going back to that, like did you have that same sort of feeling about the New Japan Strong those early days, or just was the no fans era during that time that just wasn't cutting it for you?
Nah, man, I was actually super excited, and it's crazy because when the COVID hit and did all that, it was probably one of my most kicking, like it kicked off my
Yeah.
career. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of ass backwards for me,
Yeah.
but fortunately it kind of, it boosted, working with, I was with New Japan just in COVID, you know what I mean? It was like, what? And, but, to do it in with no crowd, it was different. It wasn't it wasn't too much of a shift, just I guess you could say just everything hurt a lot more, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you didn't get the energy from the crowd, you didn't get that hype, you didn't get it wasn't there. But to be able to feed off your opponent and have that chemistry and get lost in just us, it was kind of cool, man. It's weird how you learn a lot. I learned a lot being in that atmosphere. So when we were able to come back to crowds, it was like it's kind of weird, like how you learn so much of not having them and being so fortunate to have them back,
Mm.
and to be able to dictate a little bit more because you were able to work without them. I know it sounds kind of weird,
No, it makes sense.
um, but being in that element at that time, man, it was cool. Obviously, again, you're with the best wrestlers in the world, man. So, and but the no crowd thing was different, and I think as for me, my experience, it led me to appreciate the crowd a lot more, but also learn a lot more about wrestling and learn a lot more about in-ring work and be able to dictate a crowd and tell stories and do things like that a lot more. But just being around there and getting the knowledge and the feedback in that element of talent with New Japan, it's a whole different world, man. It's career changing for real.
Mm, mm. And like I remember like when the New Japan USA like in the middle of the pandemic, I would not in the middle, but I would say like around like like early 2022, like when things started like to really pick back up a little bit as far as like people getting in front of crowds and stuff like that. I know Rocky Romero, he had did an interview and he was talking about like how like there were like he got asked about like the different sort of contracts within New Japan, like the New Japan based talents, and then you had like it was something called the New Japan of America contracts that got introduced during the pandemic that he was talking about, and he was like the talents who were like regularly featured or you know well received or well pushed, like those were the talents that were under those New Japan of America deals. I wanted to ask, were you one of those talents that were under those deals? And the only reason I'm asking is because you were like regularly and heavily featured on New Japan Strong.
It's been talked about, but just there's just been so much going on with so many companies right now.
Right,
It's
right.
that I'm just fortunate enough to just work with everyone, but I'm in a position to be able to put everybody as a priority.
Okay.
So for me, it's no contract, you know, but it's definitely they have to be a priority. I guess that's the easiest way to put it, you know.
For sure.
And I guess I've scheduled my calendar enough to make everyone a priority. So it's been cool for me. You know, we're going to Japan here in a couple weeks. You know, so that's gonna be so dope, man. I was so excited when we got the news and
Yeah.
to be able to go because it's I'm just, to be honest, man, I'm just very humble because you know Japan fans and stuff, they've been hitting me up since Strong started. You know, we can't wait for you to come, can't wait for you to come. So to know that there's fans out there waiting, you know, for myself and Team Filthy to go and just do our thing, that they were able to see that we presented and Rocky gave us a platform to do that on, and
Yeah.
now to be able to take it to Japan, like, bro, that's, you know, it's a dream come true for me, man. And it's gonna be cool, man. I'm like ecstatic, bro. I can't wait. You know, it's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
So
you want to know it's crazy? Like I was about to ask you about that next, because that thing is that what Kratos is referring to is the New Japan Strong Independence Day shows July 4th and July 5th. I think these is these are the New Japan Strong's brand debut in Japan. So and it's gonna
correct.
be a 2-day event at Korakuen Hall. And it's funny you mentioned that because I know you had said earlier that you debuted for All Japan at Korakuen, and
See, yeah,
now you going to New Japan and
yeah,
having these two shows at Korakuen, and then mind you this, the G1 is like a week after that, or so it's the G1 starts like not too long after those shows, man. So you know, it seems like everybody gonna be sort of in the vicinity. I know Eddie Kingston gonna be out there as well. But I don't. I think they've announced 2 matches so far, but I know you yourself, Tom Lawler, Team Filthy, y'all are gonna be out there. Well, West Coast Wrecking Crew gonna be out there. It seems like it's gonna be a great lineup for that the New Japan Independence Day show. But like I know you had kind of just sort of reflected on it a little bit, but if possible, like could you sort of dive into a little bit more about like how excited you are, seeing as how this is, as we're recording this thing is like 3 weeks away to the day, Wednesday,
right.
that you're going to be in Japan. Well, you will be in Japan before, like obviously the flights and stuff like that, but like the show starts like 3 weeks today as we're recording this. Like I'm pretty sure that's an exciting feeling to know that
Yeah,
you go back in Japan, man.
it's uh, it's 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 amazing, bro. Like, you know, it's what we talked about earlier, to be able to take it all in and just sit back and be like, you know, you kind of remember little, you know, not little, but little moments in your career, like pillars, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I debuted in Corkin Hall for All Japan, and then now to go back for the promotion, you know what I mean? Like the biggest promotion
Yeah,
in Japan, and to wrestle in Japan at Corkin Hall with the history there. And just what's another big thing for me, man, is just, again, going back to the COVID, to the pandemic, you know, all of us, you know, Rocky pretty much, you know, honestly taking a chance on us, man, and building this product. And, you know, we're able to build it and see it catch momentum, you know, and then now be able to take it to the fans in Japan. It's like, and then we're all going to be able to do it, as,
yep,
you know what I mean? That's going to be cool, man, to be coming in as, you know, with my boys, you know, Lawler and the West Coast Wrecking Crew, and to be able to walk in Corkin Hall and see, you know, we were talking about this, man, when we were in LA,
filming, filming.
in front of, you know, like, damn, dude, imagine if this shit takes off, bro. We get to go to Japan, like,
Hey,
you know,
hey, hey, Kratos, real quick, just to jump in, like, just to add on, like, just to jump in on what you were saying, like, does it
yeah,
mean something a little extra to know that you were like at Strong, like at the beginning stages, and then now to see it like where it is
100%.
now?
It's 100%, you know, and I know Rocky don't. It's not that he don't like it. It's just I don't think that man gets enough credit, bro.
Man,
For
I was just about to say, I was about to say the same.
for what he does, dude, and like you know, get me all emotional on this podcast, bro. You know, it's and for him to take a chance on guys that have really just loved this business, man, and busted their ass and that are great talents. You know, you got another one like Bad Dude Tito. Like that dude has been grinding forever, bro. You know, finally to see him kick off, you know, West Coast Wrecking Crew, another guy, Tom Lawler, guys like that. You know, Eddie Kingston, of course, you know, he is who he is, but his love for Japan wrestling, you know what I mean? He gets to do it now. You know, Homicide's going, Mox is going.
Yep.
Like, you're taking this crew to Japan, bro. We're about to.
Hey, Kratos, you want to know something you just said about Rocky though? Like, I think that I feel like Rocky is one of those people in wrestling where he's not going to get his flowers until he's done. Like in wrestling, like I feel like after his career is over, after he's like completely gone away from the business, I feel like that's when people that's when you will see the total effect of that Rocky
Yeah, and see,
Romero has
that's why,
had.
like, when I get my chances, I do that because that's one of the guys that has honestly 1,000% changed my career.
Mm.
And it was because he saw something, he took a chance on me, and he gave me an opportunity. You know, he gave me the ball and let me run with it. You know, and to see that he's happy with it and his vision has now grown and we're a part of that. You know, it's dude, it means the world. Like honestly, bro, I wouldn't doubt it. And I'll say it right now, and they're all gonna get mad. I wouldn't doubt it if we all started crying, bro, when we walked in the Corcoran Hall. Like just
Yeah.
because just because of our own personal journeys, you know, and it's the struggle of just doing this with life, you know, and just honestly sitting in LA talking about what's going to happen in 3 weeks. Like we used to bullshit and talk about it all the time. Man, wait till we go to Japan, man. Wait till this, wait till that. And you know, Rocky would always say, it's going to happen, man. We just got to work. We got to keep doing this. And what? 3 years
3 years
later,
later. Uh-huh.
we're going, and it was 3 years of grinding, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, man, it's just all hats off to Rocky. I mean, the dude is. I'm thankful. I'm thankful he took a chance on me, man. And I'm gonna kick ass in Japan, not only for him, but you know, for myself and for everybody, man. That's gonna be there. So it's gonna be dope, man.
Yeah, and even like further speaking on that about the growth of the strong brand, man, that you're a part of. Like I know Rocky has said publicly that one of the things he always wanted to do was like start up a women's division, and like he was like that's one thing he always wanted to get going. And here we are, present day. You got a
And look
women,
at it.
got a women's division. You had Mercedes Monet sort of leading the way. You
Yeah,
had
right.
Kyrie coming over from Stardom, and sort of introducing the IWGP Women's Championship when she won the belt back in November 2022, transitioning it over to Mercedes, then got a New Japan Strong Women's Championship. So yeah, man, I think that things have picked up real well for Strong. And of
Oh
course, like
yeah.
as we see, y'all got about to head to Japan. Like I know you guys haven't having a match officially announced as far as like you guys are Team Filthy, but I know like again yourself, Tom Lawler, you guys are advertised for West Coast Wrecking Crew. I know Tanahashi is advertised for, man. I'm just throwing this out there
Yeah.
as a potential possibility. Team Filthy, yourself, Tom Lawler in the third versus Tanahashi, Ishii, Okada for the for the never open weight 6-man tag titles, man. What you
Oh,
say?
bro, I would lose my shit. Because I get asked all the time, like, you know, what are some of the guys that you know your bucket list, so you say, and Tanahashi is definitely on there, man. Just that's another one too that is just you know a talent in the back that is just the respect is definitely earned with him. You know, is the easy you know professional way to say it. You know, he's just old school, and he you know it's Tanahashi, bro. You know, so
You put the work in.
but for him to be able to just talk to you and you could see that he values you and looks at you as a peer, it's not only an honor, man, but it's amazing, you know, to be able to talk to him and him critique it and tell you things that work and you apply them and you could just see him kind of just, you know, good job kind of it's a big deal, man. But yeah, you know, it would be cool, bro, to be in the ring with him and share the ring with him in Japan. That would yeah, it would Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be dope.
for sure, for sure. All right, so before we get out of here, but you know what? This just came to mind because I had this written in my notes. I'm glad I had skipped over, but I'm glad I had caught it. But like I
Yeah,
wanted to
what's up,
ask you
man?
this back in 2020. I think this was like August 2020 when Cody Rhodes when he was in AEW and he was doing the TNT title for the Open
Yeah.
Challenge for the TNT Championship. I know you had put out a video, and it was like a well shot, like real professional, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like real solid that you put out good camera work and all that stuff that you threw your hat in amongst the list of talents who wanted the challenge for the TNT title. I know the match didn't have. I'm sure that's what you wanted, but dude, that you got a lot of positive feedback from that video that you put out. I know you had worked with somebody to I think it was like a media uh
Yeah.
type of promotion or something like that that you helped put that together with. But like you got like a lot of positive feedback coming out of that, man. It seemed like it was really well received. I think I had saw even Jun Akiyama in the comments or something like that comment section. A lot of other wrestlers as well quote tweeting and in the comments. Like I'm sure that out of you putting out that video, I'm sure the most that you wanted was to get the actual match on Dynamite. But I know that had to be a good feeling, man, to see the positive reaction you got from not only the fans, but I know it made something a little different to get that sort of positive feedback from your peers and like that's actual wrestlers.
100%. It's actually at the time, he was just a little youngster, man. His name is Nick. You can see him. You can find him on my Instagram. He's the one that did all that videography and the media and all that for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked his vibe. He was a cool dude, and I saw his work and I was like, hey man, I got this idea. I kind of written this down. I said, you're gonna have to roll with me to different places, man, and just kind of hang out with me for a couple of days. And I want to put this all together because I got an idea and I want this opportunity, obviously with the TNT open weight championship on AEW. But that didn't happen, unfortunately. But to go back to what you were saying, the feedback that I got and the opportunities I got from that was huge, man. It was definitely worthwhile doing it, not getting the outcome that I wanted, but the outcomes that came out of that were really, really cool. And again, to like you said, just to get the feedback from my peers and say, man, if this doesn't happen, bro, like, wow, like that was really well thought of, really put together, like a lot. It was cool because a lot of people were like, I don't see how it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like that was dope, bro. Like that has to, you have to get the opportunity. And unfortunately it
Yeah.
didn't happen, but it was cool, man. I'm glad we did it. And we got some other stuff in the works. So
Cool.
yeah, cool, man.
That's something, man. Before we get out of here, Kratos, man, that definitely want to give you the opportunity to plug your merchandise, social media, anything you got, man. I'm gonna make sure to put it in the description of this video, so let the people know where they can find you at, where they can subscribe, where they can get your merch, whatever it is.
Yeah, all social media is just JR_Kratos. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the merch for me is on New Japan merch. It's on our Team Filthy, all the Kratos stuff. It's all on there. Pro Wrestling Tees, I haven't updated in a while, but all my upcoming stuff is on New Japan's merch sites. So
There you go.
that's it, man. Just follow my journey, support, not only support me, but support the indie guys too, man. And, just be a fan of wrestling, man. It's a kick ass time. And, as a talent, we're out here putting in work. So you guys can escape your reality for short times and get lost in our moments that we create. So,
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it. I'm Andrew Thompson, the Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel, and I'm signing out with the most feared JR Kratos, and we are out. Peace.
thanks for having me, bro.
No problem. No problem.